Hello, beautiful friends. Today, what is on the tippy top of my mind is an exercise that my friend and coach Kim Kelty, she's an amazing personal branding coach, by the way, which she's really turned into like more of a therapist than she has a personal brand coach for me. But she gave me this exercise to write out all of these labels. So funny, I just finished writing a book that's about labels and identity and all of this stuff. And then she's like, why don't you take some time and just brain dump every single label you can think of that you associate with yourself. So I took a lot of time and wrote down a lot of labels. And I started to get really anxious because as I'm writing down all of these different things that I am, I started to sweat a little bit because one of those things is a perfectionist. And I am, as Brene Brown would say, a recovering perfectionist. I'm working on it. It's not easy. But because of those perfectionist tendencies in my mind, I really started to freak out that I was like, oh my God, these are so many labels. I am so many of these things. And what if I'm not great at all of them all the time? And that was like really freaking stressful because I was like, oh my God, I've said I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a puppy mom, I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, I'm an advocate, I'm a home cook, I'm a traveler. I wrote down, everything you can think of. And I thought I can't do it all. And so on my next call with Kim, I was like, Kim, this was a bad exercise for me. It stressed me the F out. This was not good. I am not okay. And she said to me, well, what if you don't have to be all of those things all of the time? What if you can sometimes you're really fulfilling your role as a wife and as a writer, and then other times you're really fulfilling your role as a daughter and a speaker. What if you're not everything all the time? And I was like, yeah, that's true. I don't have to be everything all the time. And I was still kind of bleh about it. And I don't remember if it was her or me that said this. I would love to think it was me, but I'm pretty sure it was her that said, well, but how do you define those labels? And it was in that moment that all of a sudden it got a little less stressful. Well, not all of a sudden, really. We had to talk about it for about an hour. But after that hour, it got less stressful because I was thinking about each of these labels has a definition, right? I have a definition of what it means to be a wife. And the problem is when I feel that I am not fulfilling the definition of wife by society's standards. But what if society's standards of what a wife does is not how I feel about being a wife? What if my idea of what being a wife is totally different and my definition is different? And Kim and I went back and forth about this for a while, and she said, Chelsea, you only have to fulfill how you feel. Each of these labels defines parts of you. And that felt a lot better because I kept thinking, not only society, but my friends who are married are going to have a different definition of what it means for them to be a wife than it is for what it means for me, And I think letting go of some of that pressure to be perfect at each of these things by a definition that is not my own was really relieving. And so I wanted to give you permission, if you needed it, today and tomorrow and every day hereafter, to define for yourself when someone gives you a label. First of all, if you don't like it, check it out. But if you give yourself a label, make sure you're taking the time to define for yourself what it means to fulfill that role. And then also give yourself the space to not have to be 100% all the time at a ton of different roles, because it's impossible. For me, it's impossible. Maybe you can do it, and all power to you if it works and you can stay sane and continue living. Congratulations. I can't do that. So I've had to take each of these labels and say, sometimes I'm fulfilling these roles, sometimes I'm fulfilling a different part of a different subsection of my roles. And these are the definitions that are important to me. For me, as a wife, it is not important to let my husband come home to a home-cooked meal. I mean, it's great when it happens, which it rarely does. But to me, what's important is that he can come to me for support, that we are partners, that we help each other, that we support each other when we need it, and that I am here to feel his pain when he needs me to feel it with him, and that I am here to do life with him. To me, that is what my definition of a wife is. And someone else is going to have a completely different definition, and that is so perfect for them. I shouldn't use the word perfect. I use the word perfect so much, but you know what I mean. That's great for them. And however you feel you can show up for those labels in a way that's healthy and feels good to you is amazing. And on most, but what you have to be sure of is that you're still showing up for yourself within those labels. Because if you're just performing all of these different labels and all of these different things that you are for other people, like, you're getting left in the dust. And then you're not whole and you don't feel good. And you feel tired and worn out and exhausted and incapable of fulfilling anything for yourself. So it's a very delicate balance, but we're going to find it together. We're going to balance it out. And I'm very excited about doing that and about defining each of these labels. So I'm going to give you the same homework that Kim gave me, is after figuring out and fleshing out every role you think you fulfill. I mean, everything. Like, one of mine is flower smeller. That is a very important label and role to me. Someone who stops and smells the flowers. But after writing down all of those things, go back and define for yourself what each of these things means to you, because that was the biggest gift that Kim gave me, was that I get to define it for myself. And it's hysterical because I literally just wrote a book where that is the thesis, and somehow it hasn't sunk in until now. So there you go. Unfortunately, the student is always the teacher. So nope, other way. The student is the teacher. The teacher is the student. The teacher is the student. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Just go be yourselves and have a great time doing it. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.